I'm Sev, and welcome to How to Channel Part 2, Meet Your Spirit Guide. This follows Part 1, Raise Your Frequency. I created this 3-part series so that each part builds upon the other. When you watch them in succession, each part amps up your frequency. So if you haven't watched Part 1, please do so before watching this video. I stress that the quality of your channeling experience is directly related to the quality of your personal frequency. You have an energy which has a frequency and color and sound to it. I talk about this in Part 1, and I also talk about how you can distinguish what your frequency is like. If you have a high frequency, you align with high frequency beings. If you have a low frequency, you align with low frequency beings. This is the same rule on Earth as it is in the multi-dimensions. This video is shorter than Part 1 because in Part 1 I talk about introductory material, and I've heard from many of you who watched Part 1. You shared with me your channeling experiences, and you're having remarkable experiences. Some of you have made contact with otherworldly beings, ETs, deceased loved ones. Some of you have seen past lives. Some of you have had out-of-body experiences, astral traveling. Some of you are receiving profound messages. Some of you are seeing symbols, sacred geometry, beautiful kaleidoscope-like energy beams and orbs. And it makes me deeply happy that you're traveling through the dimensions successfully. This is another way to experience this world. In this video, I discuss what is a spirit guide, encountering negative beings, including men in black, how to communicate with spirit guides. I share with you 2 of my personal spirit guide channelings that changed my life, why spirit guide communication is beneficial. Plus, we will channel together through 2 guided meditations, and you will be assigned homework. And you have 2 weeks to finish your homework before Part 3 debuts. For those of you who did the meditations in Part 1 only once, well, I can't make you do your homework. I can guarantee you that your channeling results are directly related to your efforts. If you're serious about channeling, you'll do the meditations and you'll do your homework. If you're not serious, you'll just dibble-dabble here and there and maybe complain that you're not seeing anything or you're not hearing anything, and that's on you. It takes more than just 1 or 2 meditations to break down mental barriers and to peel away lower vibratory energies. It also takes more than just meditation. What you eat, what you watch, what you read, the music that you listen to, what you think, what your friends are like, all transform your energy. It's imperative that you take full action, mind and body, to raise your frequency so that you align with beautiful people and beings. So if you do this halfway, your results could be disappointing. They could be marvelous though, and you're in charge of that. Get comfortable in a quiet place. I suggest you have your pets with you because they can feel the transformation of the energy in the room, and they can feel the amping up of your frequency, and they like it. It's soothing for them. Plus, it reinforces the bond that you have with your pets. Have paper and pen, and for the meditations, please use earphones. The meditations will be much more effective if you use them. What is a spirit guide? A spirit guide is simply an energetic consciousness which offers guidance. And since there are an infinite amount of life forms in the universe, a spirit guide can take many forms. A spirit guide could take on the form of an angelic being, an ancestor, an ET, an animal, a light being, or a historical figure. You can also receive guidance by plugging into a collective consciousness or a quantum information matrix, which doesn't have a recognizable form. It's formless. Often this information comes in a very quick download. I talked about this in part 1. In this video, I'm going to concentrate on channeling spirit guides that do have a recognizable form. You can see a spirit guide as having a human body, an alien body, an animal body, a light body, as orbs of energy, as symbols and geometric shapes, as kaleidoscope energy patterns, or a mix of all of that. I suggest not getting caught up in the need to communicate with a particular shape of being to be open to any form. You can have one spirit guide, you might have many spirit guides, you might have a guide that's with you during a particular part of your life, and as you transform, another guide might step in. You might have guides that do what I call cameo appearances, where they just show up once or twice and impart valuable knowledge for you. Here's a mind bender. You might be a spirit guide for someone too, either in human form or in a multi-dimensional form. Since your energy manifests in more bodies than just this one, in more dimensions than just this one, you may be having the experience of being an interdimensional spirit guide for someone else. Most of us don't know all of the other lives and consciousnesses that we are simultaneously having. Are there positive spirit guides and negative spirit guides? Yes. We tend to think that spirit guides are good and positive. The term spirit guide simply means a spirit who guides you. It can guide you in an uplifting way, or it can guide you in a descending way. Spirit guides operate with permission. If you give a spirit guide permission to interact with you, it shall. A spirit guide might contact you without permission, just to poke around a little bit to see if you're interested. But if you're not interested and tell it so, it will go away. You're always in control. You can have a high frequency about you and still have a lower frequency being show up. This being could be attached to someone that you know, someone that you're with, and you can feel this being in your vibratory field. If you don't like it, if you don't want to communicate with it, simply tell it to go away. If you say, I don't want to communicate with you, but a part of you is thinking, oh, this creepiness is kind of cool, it can sense that and it won't go away. No has to mean no. Encountering negative beings, including men in black. This happened to me a few months ago. I had a friend come stay with me for a week, and she brought her guides. And the first night that she was here, I woke up in the middle of the night, and standing to the left of me, right beside my bed, was a tall black shadow figure that looked exactly like a Men in Black. It had the hat and it looked like it was wearing a jacket. And its energy was not nice. It felt like it was like trying to suck my energy, like it was trying to sweep me up in its own vortex of energy and just like suck me up. And I told it had to go away. And it didn't want to. It put up a fight. And I put up a fight too. And I put up quite a fight. It took a lot of energy. And I had to maintain my cool, because if I popped into fear, this shadow, this man in black, was going to overcome me. I couldn't pop into fear. So I just stood my ground. I told it very powerfully that I'm in charge. You're not in charge. And you cannot have me. And I am not going with you. And there was a little bit of a battle for several seconds. And it was unlike an experience I've never had. But I won. It went away. And I know that that man in black was attached to my friend. She has some interests that are fear-based, some interests that have to do with theories about who's in charge of this planet, the reptilians and the deep state and the cabal and all that. And she finds it very interesting. And she spends a lot of her time in that energy. And that is a dark energy. It's a fearful energy. So this man in black, which is a dark, fearful energy, it attaches to people who are spending a lot of time in that low vibratory rate. So it kind of made me sad that that's hanging around with her. But it is completely our own journey. And it's our own private business, what kind of spirit guides we have. How to communicate with spirit guides. Communication with spirit guides is easy. It's done through meditation and conscious awareness. Some of us make it difficult. That's because our brains have been programmed through society to believe that interdimensional information is not valid. So when we receive interdimensional information, our brain kicks in and tells us that's not real, that's imaginary, it's a fantasy. So I implore you, please don't let your brain hijack your meditation. With practice through meditation, you can be plugged in 24/7. You can hear your spirit guide no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. That's the ultimate goal, to be plugged in 24/7. However, meditation is still important, even though you can hear your spirit guides 24/7. When you're meditating with your eyes closed, it increases your vibratory rate. And also, when your eyes are closed, you have this blank movie screen right in front of your eyes. And there's a lot of visual information that shows up there for you. So you can receive information from your guides on this blank movie screen while your eyes are closed. You can also receive information through words. You can receive information through feelings. You might feel energy moving through your body. You might feel parts of your body heating up and tingling. So pay attention to all of your senses when you're talking to your spirit guides. And you will eventually get to the point where you will know which one of your spirit guides have arrived simply by knowing how they feel. You won't even need to know their name. My life. I'd like to share with you 2 spirit guide meditations I had that changed my life. The first one was in 2008. I was living in Baltimore, Maryland, in an area by the water called Canton. And I was sitting on my couch meditating in my living room. My eyes were closed. And all of a sudden, I saw space. I was floating through space. It was more than floating, I was flying through space. And there was a grid, it looked like graph paper, in space. And the grid was made up of the colors of the rainbow, and they were really intense colors, like jewel tones. And I'm flying through this grid in space, and all of a sudden I am shown a head. I'm shown it in profile, like it's sliced in half, and I'm shown the pineal gland. And there's beams of energy coming out of the pineal gland. And I am understanding that this is an area of transmission of energy. Now, I go back to flying through space, and while I'm flying through space, I can hear people in front of my door. So my attention is split. I'm visually flying through space. I can feel the sensation of flying through space. And at the very same time, I can feel myself sitting on the couch, and I'm very aware of the people in front of my door because I'm worried they're going to knock on my door and pop me out of this meditation, because I don't want to be popped out of space. I want to continue flying through space. And so I'm totally split. And they're in front of my door, and they're talking loudly. And I'm flying through space, and I hear these strangers in front of my door talking loudly. And then next thing I know, I pop out of space. I'm on my couch, and then they leave. And this taught me how my consciousness, my awareness, can be in many different places at the same time. How I can be in many different places at the same time. How we can all be in many different places at the same time. What it takes is just practice. Practice putting your awareness in another place, in that matrix grid. And it was made very clear to me how important the pineal gland is in receiving interdimensional, multidimensional information. So this meditation changed my life because it made me realize I exist in more places than just here, and I can be aware of my existence in more than just one place. And the pineal gland is vital in these types of interdimensional travels. The second experience I'd like to share with you happened in 2012. I was living in Baltimore in a hip section of the city called Clipper Mill. I was sitting on my couch meditating with my eyes closed. And I saw a round film reel, like those old-fashioned film reels. And it was spinning right in front of my eyes. And then the perspective changed, and it tilted, and then I was hovering over it, and it's spinning, and I could see the film around the edges. And I could see with each frame of the film is a different movie or a different scene. Then all of a sudden, out of this spinning film reel appears these little rooms. They're individual movie theaters. And this voice says to me, pick a room. And I go, okay, I'll pick this one, the one that was right next to me. And he goes, okay, get in. So I get into this room and I sit down. It's an individual movie theater. In front of me is a movie screen, and it shows me a movie. And it shows me sitting on a couch in a room in a house, and there is this long line of white windows overlooking the water. And I had written something that did pretty well, and I was being interviewed by somebody. And I was really happy. I was with a gentleman. His face was not shown. I did not know what his face looked like. And the voice says, "Would you like this reality?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, it shall be your reality." And I pop out of it, my eyes open, I'm sitting on the couch. Fast forward 5 years later. Now, for these 5 years, this vision has been in my mind. We walk into this house here on the Inner Banks of North Carolina, we being me and my boyfriend at the time. And as soon as I saw that row of white windows overlooking the water, I was immediately reminded of that vision, that movie that I was shown. This was it. And I'm thinking to myself as I walked in, oh my gosh, it happened. And I knew we were going to get this house. How we ended up getting this house, it's an interesting story all on its own. And I ended up writing something that got some attention, and I ended up being interviewed. I've done about 40 interviews around the world about this book that I wrote. And that meditation changed my life because I learned that there is an unlimited amount of possibilities for my reality. I just have to pick one and focus on it, and I can manifest it. And along the way, if I change my mind, I can just pick another frame in that film reel and manifest that. So now that that vision has manifested, that movie has come true, sometimes I visit that film reel and I sit in my little private movie theater and I look at another movie and I decide on whether I want that to be my reality or not. And I've learned through focus and attention that I can choose my reality from the unlimited possibilities that I have for my life. And so can you. Why spirit guide communication is beneficial. Spirit guide information is knowledge from the higher perspective, so you can see the bigger picture. This is a very advantageous viewpoint from which to see your life. From this vantage point, we can more clearly see the landscape of our lives. The guidance from your spirit guide is loving, nurturing, and your spirit guide has your best interests at heart. It is knowledge that helps you maneuver through difficult situations easier, not get caught up in what others think of you. This allows you freedom to be you. The real you is the best you. Heal quicker, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Make better decisions faster. Understand the nature of your relationships. Connect to your life's purpose. And cultivate personal peace. So let's channel. It's time to meet your spirit guide. Get comfortable, put your earphones in, and close your eyes.
Stay in your meditative state by not moving too much or getting distracted. Stay focused and relaxed from the beginning to the end, and keep your eyes closed. Before we begin, know that you are in total control. If you encounter a being or an energy you don't like, simply tell it to leave. No means no. For the first meditation, music will begin and you will hear my voice guiding you. When I stop talking, continue listening to the music. This lasts for 6 minutes. This meditation raises your frequency. The music moves into the next meditation. Continue listening. Your frequency will continue to rise. You will hear me ask a series of questions. Repeat the questions silently to your spirit guide. Listen for the answer. If you don't hear one, that's okay. Keep asking the questions as I guide you to. Be aware of the sensations in your body. This lasts for 6 minutes. When the music is finished, slowly come out of your state at your own pace and begin to write what you experienced. Your homework. First, do the meditations as often as you can for the next 2 weeks. Second, continue writing in your notebook. Third, focus on keeping your vibrations high. You're about to meet your spirit guide. Imagine a circle of white light surrounding you. As you create this white light, you can feel it pulsating. You can feel it swirling around you. It feels good. You can feel the heat. And and you're getting warm. And as this circle of white light moves around you, you can feel it. It's making you warmer. And you can feel the love. Now, imagine a ball of light sitting atop your head, hovering over your head. You can feel the top of your head getting tingly. This ball of light is hovering over your head, and you can feel its warmth as it starts to enter the top of your head. Oh, you can feel the heat, the warmth, the sensations as it enters the top of your head, and your head feels warm. It feels good. Just allow this ball of energy to tingle in your head, and if it wants to move down your body, let it. Just connect with it. It's communicating with you through the pulsations, the heat, and the love. Just connect with it. Enjoy it. You've connected with your spirit guide. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Say hello. What's your name? Are you here to help me? How can I better love myself? What am I resisting? Why am I on earth? What belief can I release? What would you like me to know? Can we talk again? Thank you. I love you.